And now, the general weather around Alaska.
We've got blizzard warnings and winter storm warnings here in the red shaded areas across the west up to the north into the northern Koyukuk Valley, southern Brooks Range area, and a winter weather advisory out for tomorrow and tomorrow night for Bristol Bay. All this for snow and blowing snow through these areas as a couple of systems move in from the west with the bulk of the moisture coming in on Thursday. Also a high wind warning out here for the Alaska Range for winds gusting just 80 miles per hour. And from there, looking at the satellite imagery, we've got a system here near Kodiak Island and a band of moisture rotating around that, pushing some snow up into the Kenai Peninsula and across areas of south central Alaska, rain and snow along the North Gulf Coast. Isolated to scattered showers up over the southeast interior areas, drying out here under higher pressure along the west coast. And that extends up to the North Slope and Arctic coast. A lot of clear skies up in this area today, back down toward the Seward Peninsula. Big mass of clouds here. One system, so we roll this again, right through here, and a bigger one back out there to the west. You can see all that pushing eastward into the western Bering Sea. And the southeast coast, not too bad, variably cloudy to mostly cloudy with a few showers around. On the chart, that due to a trough swinging through the area there, a weak trough, a little bit more moisture with that here along the North Gulf Coast, but still light precipitation. Seward picked up about 1,300 liquid water equivalent of precipitation today, and that was one of the heavier amounts. And areas of snow in across south central Alaska, northern Cook Inlet area, we're kind of becoming more showery and drier to the north there with temperatures rising into the mid-40s over the eastern interior, staying much cooler out to the west there with the clearing over the north slope to the Arctic coast and also down into areas of the western part of the state. Warm front bringing light snow into the Pribilof Islands this afternoon with gradually warming temperatures. Behind that, generally dry over the Aleutians here with some clearing, especially around Adak and Atka. And then you can see on the edge there, the next system will be pushing rapidly eastward here later tonight and in toward morning with precipitation and gusty southwest winds on the increase here over the Aleutians, and rain or snow starting to taper off now for the Pribilof Island areas, but temperatures will be rising above freezing there. Snow and blowing snow increases here along the coast from about Cape Neuenham northward along the Yukon Delta into the Bering Strait areas, western Seward Peninsula, as that first system continues to push eastward, and generally storm-free conditions here over the Arctic coast into the interior, producing quite a widespread area of some clearing skies, but still some clouds around, but winds will be light. That'll allow temperatures to get a little chillier tonight in some areas. Snow mainly over the Kenai Peninsula down into the Barren Island areas with rain and snow along the North Gulf Coast, with not much getting up into the Copper River Basin. Periods of rain on the increase here for the Panhandle as that front pushes eastward in toward the coast, and then it slowly moves eastward tomorrow during the day, and by afternoon will be lying right over the Panhandle, so look for clouds with occasional rain throughout the entire day there from Dixon Entrance right on up across the Panhandle and westward here along the North Gulf Coast into Prince William Sound. Well, it dries out with some partly sunny skies anticipated for the Kenai Peninsula, south central Alaska to Kodiak Island under this narrow area high pressure. Pretty nice conditions, central eastern part of the state, light winds with some sunshine and dry conditions up to the Arctic coast once again. But snow and blowing snow pushing into the western part of the state here ahead of this frontal system and becoming mixed along the warm front with a mixture of precipitation along the about the Pribilof Islands area. They're trying to push into the Cape Neuenham area. Look for rain along the Alaska Peninsula westward to the front out toward Adak and Atka. And then for the day on Thursday, you can see this low tracks northeastward. The one out there to the west moves rapidly to the west, lying right off the Yukon Delta coast. So a widespread area of precipitation moving in all the way to the eastern part of the state. And rain here across southern Alaska, Prince William Sound into Cook Inlet down to Kodiak Island as that front slowly moves eastward. That milder southwest flow, an area of possible mixed precipitation in the pink shaded area here north of the rain zone, And then snow and blowing snow, especially for the Yukon Delta here on up into the interior there where the winter storm warnings are out. That'll push up in toward the Brooks Range, but should stay dry for the central and eastern Arctic coast. Strong trough rotating south or west-southwestward will spread more wind and snow, or rain and snow changing to snow for the Pribilof Islands, with just some scattered isolated shower activity for the Aleutians with gusty west winds out there. Not a bad day for the Panhandle, partly to mostly cloudy with a few showers around, mainly over toward the eastern border. And for the lows tonight for the southeast coast in the 30s, otherwise mid-teens for the Copper River Basin, 20s south central Alaska, much colder west of the Alaska Range here, 0 to 10 above, all the way up in toward the Kobuk Valley, but areas from Kotzebue in toward Ambler and the Brooks Range will be 0 to 10 below and 15 to 25 below here for the north slope to the Arctic coast, 20s for the Bering Sea, 30s for the Aleutians. Highs tomorrow in the 40s central and eastern part of the state, although the Yukon Flats around Fort Yukon looking for a high of 34 there, 31 at Bettles, and then 28 at Ambler, and right around 20 for the Brooks Range, and highs a little milder for the Arctic coast up there, anywhere from 5 to 15, and 30s to lower 40s for the Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula, mid-30s for the Pribilofs, and in the mid-40s for the southeast coast. And for the lows Thursday morning, 30s for the Panhandle once again, right around 20 in the Copper River Basin, 20s to lower 30s, south central Alaska, near 30 for Kodiak Island, lower 30s here for the Alaska Peninsula, lower to mid 30s for the Aleutians, right around 30 for the Pribilofs, 20 Savunga, St. Lawrence Island area there, and everybody back above zero now for the Arctic coast and the North Slope, 5 to 15 for your lows for Thursday morning. Upper 20s here in the west and 15 to 28 for the east side, and for the highs in the 40s from about Fairbanks eastward to Eagle there, south to North Wayantowka. In the 40s also for the Copper River Basin, mid 30s to mid 40s for south central Alaska, 40 to 45 for Bristol Bay, Kodiak Island, 45 to 50 for the southeast coast.